Good evening and welcome to ICU TV Menus. My name is Miriam Deborah Gamani. Let's take a look at the stories making headlines. Claims of Moses Kalonde's appointment to Constitutional Committee denied. 12 arrested in Chibombo for unlawful assembly as police caution political players. And later in the news, Zema shuts down illegal beverage factory in Lusaka. And in our international news, Tanzania orders civil servants to work from home after violent election. And in our sports news, Copper Queen Princess's coach reflects on World Cup exit, ICE 2026 comeback. More details coming shortly after this. And now the news in detail. Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana has dismissed reports claiming that President Hakainde Hichilema appointed Mr. Moses Kalonde to the Technical Committee on Constitutional Amendments. Kawana said these reports are false and intended to discredit the committee's work and the consultative process through propaganda and misinformation. He described the committee's formation as a vital opportunity for Zambians to engage and submit their views on constitutional changes. Kawana urged citizens to participate and commended those who have already made submissions. The technical committee is currently gathering inputs from provinces, with the majority of Zambians actively contributing their concerns and suggestions.
Late, we had further engagements where we were also dealing with media issues. I've called you here for a very short briefing this morning, just to emphasize and show that in the recent past, especially via social media, there has been consistent and insistent reporting that the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, has appointed one Moses Kalonde to be a member of the Technical Committee on the Constitution. And a lot of articles, long articles, have been written questioning why Mr. Kalonde is part of it, why did the President appoint him, what expertise is. Now, I want to take the time to demonstrate to the nation that this is an agenda hell-bent on trying to discredit the work of the Technical Committee and also the work of government.
12 people, among them Mambilima Member of Parliament Jen Chisenga and lawyer Christopher Mwenge, have been arrested in Chibombo for unlawful assembly and conduct likely to cause a breach of peace. The group was found gathered at Mwenge's residence on the night of October 29th, allegedly waiting to be addressed by Honorable Brian Mundubile. Police officers advised them to disperse, but the group defied the directive, leading to their arrest. Several others fled the scene. All detainees remain in custody and will be released upon payment of an admission of guilty fine. Police have reminded political players and the public that the right to assembly must be exercised within the confines of the law, with prior notice to authorities as required under the Public Act order. The service emphasized that such operations are routine law enforcement efforts aimed at preserving public order and not just politically driven.
The Zambia Police Service wishes to inform members of the public that yesterday, the 29th of October 2025, Chibombo and Liteta police stations conducted a joint operation which resulted in the apprehension of 12 individuals for the offense of conduct likely to cause the breach of peace. Those detained at Liteta police stations include the following: Susan Mulenga Mwelwa, age 64, of Katuba; Aida Chikusu, age 72, of Katuba; Honorable Jean Ngandwe Chisenga, age 36, Member of Parliament for Mambilima constituency; Jean Chikuvesho, age 69, of Chibombo, New Boma; Abraham Shimani Mamba, age 26, of Shaputu, Chipepo Rural in Kabwe District; Alex Shimani Mamba, age 20, of Shaputu, Chipepo Rural in Kabwe District; Naftali Chulo, age 72, of Mutembeyo Moyo in Chadiza; Christopher Mwenge, aged 50, of Kasukwe in Kasama, a lawyer by profession, while the following are detained at Chibombo Police Station: Modern Musala, age 65, of Chiwuyunji; Austin Muvulama, age 50, Francis Chilekwa, age 50, and Ernest Malpande, age 55, a farmer. Preliminary investigations indicate that the group was found unlawfully assembled at the residence of Mr. Christopher Mwenge around 20:53 hours, waiting to be addressed by Honorable Brian Mundubile, who was later seen passing through Chisamba security checkpoint in road to Lusaka. Police officers engaged the group and advised them to disperse peacefully. However, the detained individuals defied the lawful orders and remained at the scene, prompting police to act and apprehend them, while others managed to escape. All the detainees are in police custody. Their release is dependent upon them paying the admission of guilt fine for the offense. The Zambia Police Service wishes to remind all political players and citizens that the right to freedom of assembly and association is guaranteed under the laws of Zambia, but such rights must be exercised within the confines of the law. Anyone wishing to hold a public meeting, procession, or assembly must seek prior notification from the regulating authority as stipulated under the Public Order Act. The Zambia Police Service further emphasizes that operations of this nature are not politically motivated but are carried out in the interest of maintaining public order, peace, and security for all citizens, regardless of political or social affiliation. The service remains nonpartisan, professional, and committed to upholding the rule of law at all times. We therefore urge all political parties and their members to observe the law at all times and to liaise with the nearest police station when planning public activities in order to maintain peace, order, and public safety across the country. The Zambia Police Service remains committed to protecting the rights, freedoms, and safety of all citizens, while ensuring that law and order prevail in every part of the country. Thank you.
Zambia Environmental Management Agency Zema has moved in to close the Lusaka-based Beverage factory for operating without the required environmental licenses. The operation, which took place in Chalala, also led to the arrest of the factory's manager and the seizure of thousands of products. Misha Kimfune has more details in this report.
The Zambia Environmental Management Agency Zema has shut down cocoa manufacturing food factory in Lusaka's Chalala area and arrested its manager Tang Xiao for operating without the necessary environmental licenses. Zema Corporate Affairs Manager Ruth Kamwi says the company was earlier fined a total of 180,000 kwacha for operating illegally but continued its activities despite the penalties. Meanwhile, residents of Chalala have expressed mixed reactions to the shutdown, some saying the move is necessary as it will encourage other companies to follow environmental regulations, while others argue that closure has halted employment opportunities for young people, leaving them vulnerable to social vices.
It's also good that the government has stepped in so that other companies can follow by the same rules. And we also have another issue that we are facing because of the employment, the people who have been employed here, like where are they going to go? Because, in Chalala, we don't have much opportunities of jobs here.
During the enforcement operation, Zema seized thousands of products, including carbonated drinks, biscuits, and bottled water, along with 4 production line machines. The factory premises have since been sealed off, and Zema has warned that no production will resume until the firm meets all environmental requirements. This development underscores Zema's commitment to enforcing environmental laws and ensuring public safety in Zambia's manufacturing sector. Reporting for ICU TV in Lusaka, I am Mishek Mfune.
We'll take our first break. Stay tuned for more news.
Bami wamwene kukupa basofu ate gift ya wedding wewe
kabampo kai honto kweswa
wei
sebo bujiti bajita kuti humbo wa harwa kumpa muso
ale
they give one zo
Basa sunu tusegelela akupobola. Nguzu ya mwanesu musanko yulagi. Mwana mujende.
Tamdori ndira honeymoon.
Honeymoon yansa yebo tuni kurya honeymoon ndete kuya kusaka ka kupange maloko mbo tuni kukhala amije. Kuno mudalo lo bagamba kuti nantaka mihi mu Lusaka. Ishi ndi mubwa. Itabaga ndi gite claustration bagandi sibe buya. Baga kuhema jana.
Iwe. Amanyiri munganda mwana umpira mafi ya ng'ombe apa peni. Nada ng'ombe muno.
Lucky. Do you know me? Do you know my wife? Have you seen my wife?
Chirikwi. Urefu atuaka ni mochari mpiayo.
Maybe I should go to doctors.
Bambira ma doctor tiwabora hipondo tu.
Ah.
Chikaringa byani bantu nawe chakaringa byani ko. Oh.
Chachiringo kumichiringanya pa mulesu wa mafuta.
Wow. I'm so impressed mura. Pesi ndari kwamba bakuti. Aya mafuta anunkira musimba. Imwe mwakasuba.
Welcome back, and now in our local stories. The Food Reserve Agency FRA has officially announced the closure of the 2025 crop marketing season, with all satellite depots across the country set to shut down on October 31st, 2025. In a statement issued to ICU TV News, FRA Acting Executive Director Justin Juga confirmed the agency has purchased over 1.6 million metric tons of grade A white maize, the highest in its history, amounting to more than 33 million 50 kg baggage. 50 kg bags. The agency also procured 252.3 metric tons of paddy rice, equivalent to over 6,340 kg bags. Mr. Juga attributed the record how to a strong farmer performance and continued government support under the UPND administration. He also disclosed that FRA has released around 3 billion kwacha to commercial banks over the past 6 weeks for farmer payments. The Ministry of Education has warned schools against collecting money from parents for feeding programs or graduating ceremonies, calling the practice illegal under the Free Education Policy. Permanent Secretary Dr. Kelvin Mambwe said reports have emerged from some schools soliciting funds through parent-teacher committees and charging fees for events contrary to government policy. He emphasized that free education, as declared by President Hakainde Hichilema, eliminates such financial demands. Over 4 million learners are already benefiting from the state-funded Homegrown Schools Meals program. Dr. Mambwe warned that the schools violating the policy will face disciplinary action. Parents have also been urged not to give in to illegal fee demands. Commerce, Trade and Industry Minister Chipoka Mulenga has dismissed claims that the government is reintroducing price controls, clarifying that it is instead advocating for fair and responsible pricing. He said with inflation falling, the kwacha stabilizing and fuel prices dropping, businesses should reflect these gains in their pricing and stop using outdated cost structures. Mr. Mulenga reaffirmed government's commitment to private sector-led economy, adding that this is not an attempt to detect prices, but to promote consumer fairness amid improving economic conditions. The remarks follow public concern over public reintroduction of price controls. Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana today launched the 2025 Freedom of Expression Focus Reports produced by MISA Zambia, which highlights improvement in media freedom, digital rights and public awareness by cyber laws. The reports show a raise in knowledge of cyber laws from 22% to 64% and increased use of blogging for civil education. Kawana confirmed the Access to Information Law statutory instrument has been signed with implementation guidelines underway. The government reaffirmed its commitment to protecting journalists and promoting transparency under the report's findings to inform future policy reforms.
Every day I wake up, I tune on to television. There are political figures on television every day. Every day I tune into radio stations. There are political figures on the radio stations. I must add opposition political figures. Every day. Even now, as we are talking, I'm sure there's a show going on. What if you have a show? Who's your guest now? Who? How can we be told the opposition will speak? You see that? But like I said, it's present. But that is not reality. So I want to vehemently dismiss the findings with the contempt that they deserve. And I want to urge us as citizens that we ought to be fair with ourselves. There is propaganda that is deliberately churned out to create a certain feeling in the minds of the people that in turn creates a certain perception that does not exist. Not too long ago, you as media houses could not host the opposition, because if you dare host the opposition, cadres will come and beat up your staff, they will come and burn down your radio station or your television station and damage property. We have forgotten. Not long ago, you couldn't take any stance as a media house. Media houses were closed down. Since this government took office, not a single media house has been closed down. Yet we are told, no, now it's worse. Worse than what? Worse than what? No media house has been closed down, and yet you also know that the way we are conducting ourselves as media houses now is we are at the point where tishtanga nukutumfya, kutendeka, kuyambira dala, kuchitira dala. Because some of
You're still watching ICU TV Men News. Let's take a short break. Coming up is sports and international news. Stay with us. And now in our international news, Tanzania's government has directed all civil servants to work from home following Wednesday's election marked by violence, internet outage and road closure, including the route to Dar es Salaam International Airport. A night curfew was imposed in Dar es Salaam after protesters demanding electoral reforms clashed with police. Amnesty International reported the deaths of civilian and a police officer, describing the situation as deeply disturbing. Hospitals including Muhimbili saw an influx of wounded patients. Demonstrations and virus continued overnight in several towns, while internet disruption remained severe, raising concerns over access to information. President Samia Saluha Hassan is widely expected to win a second term after opposition candidates were buried and jailed. Main opposition leader Tundu Lissu is in prison on treason charges, and his party boycotted the election. The only other serious challenger was disqualified. Voting counting is ongoing, with results expected by Saturday. And now, still in international news, Israel has received the bodies of 2 captives handed over by Hamas via the Red Cross. The remains will undergo identification at the National Forensic Institution. Meanwhile, hope for a lasting truce is fading in Gaza after Israel's deadly strike in weeks killed more than 100 people, mostly women and children. Despite the bloodshed, U.S. President Donald Trump insists the ceasefire remains intact. While mediators, Qatar has expressed frustration but says efforts towards the next phase of the truce are ongoing. In a separate development, Israel ground forces reportedly carried out an assassination inside Lebanese territory, prompting Lebanon's Michael Aoun to order the army to repel under future incursions. Israel's war on Gaza has now killed at least 68,527 people and wounded over 170,000 since October 2023. In the initial Hamas-led attack on October 7, 2023, 1,139 people were killed in Israel and around 200 taken captive. We'll take a short break. Coming up in sports news. Stay with us.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
Thank you for staying with us. And now in our sports news, Zambia Under-17 women's coach Carol Kayemba says her team's 6-0 loss to Canada in the FIFA World Cup round of 16 was due to a relaxed start and poor mental preparation. Kayemba admitted that Canada came in stronger and more aggressive, while her side struggled to gain momentum. Despite the heavy defeat, she pointed to progress in defense and attacking efforts, noting the team's improvement from last year. Looking ahead to the 2026 qualifiers, she emphasized the need for new talent and the transition of some under-17 players to the under-20 squad. She said the experience would help the girls grow mentally and physically for future competitions. Zambia reached the knockouts after losing 2-1 to Peru, 4-1 to Japan, and bouncing back with a 4-0 win over New Zealand. That sports item brings us to the end of ICU TV main news, but before we leave, a quick recap of the stories that made headlines. Claims of Moses Kalonde's appointment to Constitutional Committee denied. 12 arrested in Chibombo for unlawful assembly as police caution political players. And Zema shuts down illegal beverage factory in Lusaka. And in our international news, Tanzania orders civil servants to work from home after violent election. And in our sports news, Copa Princesses coach reflects on World Cup exit and eyes 2026 comeback. Thank you for tuning in to ICU TV main news. For more updates, stay tuned to our Facebook page ICU TV News and ICU TV and our website at www.icutv.net. Good night and God bless.